Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh to our brothers and sisters in our international communities. I would like to introduce you to our broadcast called Seventh Word Broadcast. We are based in Somaliland, the city called Hargeisa, and with diaspora's returnees, holla back. Welcome to our show. Please enjoy yourself, and let me show you what we got for you. Interesting topics. Fire! Holla back. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh. Welcome to Seven's Word
Podcast.
If you can make it here,
you can make it anywhere.
My man, my co-host Ahmed in the house. What's happening, brother?
Oh, in the building.
You already know.
Fire in the booth.
My man.
How's it going, bro?
Wallahi, masha tabarakallah. How you been? How's your week, brother?
Very nice. Very
How's
nice.
the family? How's everybody?
Hot. The climate's hot.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's very humid, you know?
It's humid.
MashaAllah.
And the rain. We haven't seen much rain now.
Not really. Climate change, you know, things are real, unfortunately.
It's funny how back when we were in Europe, rain was like something. But here, like, we pray for it. Every day.
Scarcity, no water, you know what I mean?
Every day.
So what we have today on the platform, Seven's Word. First of all, thank you for the amazing comments that you gave us for the last episode. We don't even know who it was, but continue. The email address will be again written on this episode. And let's have an international dialogue. Subscribe, support us, put the word out. We're here and we're not going nowhere. My man. What's happening, Ahmed?
We're businessmen there. We like to talk about business. We like to talk about money, economy.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
Hit it off. Tell me what another platform is today.
So we were wondering how the economy is doing, business in Somaliland, doing business as a diasporan. We were wondering diasporan versus locals, how the business startups are run. And we always ask ourselves, why do most startups fail in this country, especially when a diasporan does it?
Or in this time of era, because don't forget it's 2025. And I just came from the port. Remember, I got some new cars, mashallah. I didn't import no cars for 3 years, so I was not in the port for a while. And we're in a recession, brother.
You think so?
Oh, yeah, the port is empty. So nobody has work. Nobody's sitting. Everybody's sitting around. Nobody has work. Actually, it's less being imported this year. I think it's one of the worst years the last 10 years, brother.
What is the indicators to you?
The port. 98% of the import nation, and less things come in means less money being spent and less buying effect. So if people buy, people import more.
So you're saying the port was like, there was no business going on?
I was disappointed, really. I was I think maybe like day 15 cars being short, being text. And normally it's a waiting list. Sometimes it takes me 2 days just to text my car. That's how busy it is.
Crazy.
Right now, we're just getting the basic essentials into the country, and it shows you the buying power is less than it was years ago. And let's go back 10 years ago. Don't forget, this country has been growing very fast and rapidly.
Sure.
And in 2014, $1 billion came into this nation in 2014 to 17. Just alone by the DP World investment, and that money being circulated through the government and the infrastructure of the government being very heavily boosted as well by aid. And the Germans invested heavily. The UK government gave a lot of aid to us. So when the government receives aid and investment, it goes through the local economy. It goes through households. It goes through people's pockets. And then they spend it on the economy, building houses, buying cars. And then a lot of diasporas had the idea, there's actually a circular economy in Somaliland that can make money, mean less tax. And a lot of diasporas came home as well with their assets and the money.
Buying land, property,
land, cars,
building,
opening a business.
Houses.
Correct. And that trend is very, very slowing down. I've been here for 8 years now, brother, and what it used to be, you know what I mean? So we are in a new era of a time where the world is still standing. Globally, things are not going well as well. Ukraine war is still happening. Israel-Palestine conflict is still happening. Trump administration is in office now for a few months, and tariffs, China, there's a lot of open doors. Nothing has been really resolved yet.
US aid has been
closed
the
down.
Latest blow to the economy.
Imagine how much money used to come.
I didn't know,
that.
but apparently a lot of money used to go through
NGOs. US aid is financing a lot of local NGOs.
True.
You know what I mean? When local NGOs get financed, they get employment, they get budgets to work with locally with, and that money is reliable to our economy. It's very reliable to our economy, and that money is missing right now. So we are in a deep recession.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. But again,
do you see us getting out of the recession?
Yes, but it
And
takes,
what does it take?
It takes taking out the box. It takes to create circular economy locally. It takes to take it away from NGOs and aid money. It takes production and industries.
Manufacturing.
Manufacturing businesses don't exist in Somaliland.
Agriculture.
And agriculture don't exist. Everything's an import nation. And when you import, you send your money out. The money you collect, you send that out. Imagine we keep that money locally. How things could change.
98% of our agriculture comes from Ethiopia.
Comes from Ethiopia. And that's very simple businesses. We have the land, we have the water, we have the knowledge, but unfortunately we don't have the man. Most people eat child. Manpower is missing, and skilled labor is missing. And look, we have foreigners coming here making money on us. Look at all the skilled labor from Syria, Yemen. They took all the building industry away, low labor jobs. So our Somali man gets less opportunities to work. And then the child addiction is really, really, really sabotaging us, because if you keep sending $2 million daily being sent to Ethiopia, $2 million on addiction.
That's imagine over $500 million a year.
Imagine that money stays in a country. People will build houses, people will invest in the kids, in the youth, create schools, create opportunities for themselves, because there's more money available to share around. And that's one of the greatest downfall that we have, that we don't realize our own opportunities. We're still a handout nation where we shouldn't be. We have oil, we have minerals, we have gas, we have the ocean, and we don't maximize our opportunity. And this new government is really, really a new government. And Abdurrahman is a great visionary, and our president is trying to do his best thing, but it takes longer than 6 months. It takes more years to come. So we're not going to leave this recession for some time. What do you think, Ahmed?
Yeah, you're right. And this is a new government, and he's more open than the previous government administration. And he's been going around. His first trip was to Dubai, and now he just came back from Djibouti.
Again, remember a few months ago we was at the World Economy Forum. It's never happened.
And he's making a lot of pleas for the NGOs to restart their operations in the country.
Again, the NGOs relying on donors in the West. The donors in the West are struggling today, the foreign governments. You know what I mean? European Union has less money. Germany
especially with the tariff war as well. They're very.
Oh yeah, this is serious.
Was your brother, your friend Trump doing? That's your friend.
I was actually got off of a phone call with some very interesting people. We had a Zoom meeting. One of them, Jeff Gorman, is going to play on Monday golf with Trump. So again, there's the Bitcoin conference coming up next week in Las Vegas. Bitcoin conference.
Okay, interesting.
So where Eric Trump will be president and the vice president, and the big global financiers of the world, and they're all looking into the African markets. Africa is the new playground. 70% under 30, fastest growing economy worldwide.
Nice.
And again, manufacturing businesses are missing, and where the Westerners see opportunity, we see a downfall fast. Our people in our youth want to leave this place and our skilled
So
labor.
you're saying is it been good for the American economy?
To begin with, I'm not here to judge that. I'm not American.
True.
Secondly, I don't live there. I'm judging the shit that I live in.
Our part of the pond.
That's mine, you know what I mean? This country is my nation, and I'm interested to build my nation. But again, globally, it's good to know what's going on, because it affects us too.
Definitely.
We're the bottom of the food chain, if the West is not doing well, how can we demand to do better, especially when we're relying on aid and global investment,
Yeah.
So the best thing that we really can do is look internally.
Okay. So, another part we were talking about is the business. Startups in Somaliland, diaspora. How do you see diasporan startups versus locals?
Very, very challenging. To begin with, when a diaspora comes with an idea, he thinks his idea will work immediately. Unfortunately, any new business idea takes time. It takes really, really patience, resilience, and you have to really have a long strategy. No business is being developed in 6 to 12 months. They come, they think, hey, let me invest $50,000. I'll be rich by next year. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that.
Not even next year, like within 6 months, they wanted to see it happen.
Yeah, so what happens with the diasporas is they give up quicker than the locals, because they have options, they have passports, they have a second life somewhere else, you know what I mean? And I'm doing this for 8 years, and you see me steadily growing. I'm growing really steadily, and this is one of my best years. And it's just the beginning of an amazing life journey. And if I didn't stick out the other 7 years, would I ever be in my 8th year? Would I ever been in this amazing year where I can do things I could never imagine before? But I dreamed about it. I'm a visionary. I have this in my mind since 2014. these things I'm putting together today, I used to write it down and vision it, and I'm doing the baby steps, and it's hard. I didn't have electric. There was times
what
in
I
my
find
life
interesting is
I couldn't feed myself, brother. You know, in this journey, I had to call somebody in the West and send me some money, my family members. You know, when I started this, and again, patience, resilience, and keep going even on the bad days. Very important, brother.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? You know how it is. You've been taking care of your family and your mom, and nobody overnight succeed.
True. What I find interesting is the diaspora versus the locals is you'll see a diaspora come with a new idea, business idea. They'll start it and they'll try to run it for 6 months. And then in 6 months, it doesn't work out, obviously, because it takes time. And then he runs away. And then they'll have the local take over that same idea and make it work.
Look, our local people are copycats. They have a better money stream and network of supporting each other than the diasporas. And the locals, you know what the problem is with us diasporas? Is we don't really have a support network of diasporas or in our families. When you come home, people are immediately jealous at you. Your own people are jealous of you. Your own cousins. It starts very close, you know? And you come with this great vision, great ideas, and the locals think, you're not going to succeed. I would have smile at you, and they want to work with you. And they want
I personally, I believe that's only true to business. If you're doing a business to business,
No.
If it's a business to customers don't know who you are.
What happens to most diasporas? When they come and open a business, who they give the first jobs to take care of the business is the family members. And the family members don't care about your business the way you care about it. How many diasporas came, built a business for 6 months and flew home? They left actually a business that could actually function and grow, but the cousin member or whoever he employed could not get it to the next stage because they had no interest. You know, I can tell you 100 businesses right now that I know about from diaspora being set up where the locals really ruined it, you know? And sometime, like for me, if I come here, I set up a business and I go home, I need to rely on the people I left the business behind with. At the same time, these people have wife and kids and other jobs to do in the West to keep the money stream going for their families. And our mindset is, let's be honest with each other, our mindset is hatred and jealousy and envy when it comes to diasporas between our common folks. You know, and it starts again in your family. So for example, like I've been accepted now in this country.
Why?
Because I stick out 8 years. I'm in your face mentality. I'm going nowhere.
They see you not running away.
I'm not running away. And then, don't forget.
So they test you. That's what you're trying to say.
You know, you should ask me back in the days, like, when are you going to go home? When are you going to go home? You didn't have enough? And then you used to tell them, when I have your money and your woman. I used to be cheeky like that. I used to be a cheeky bastard because this is my home. I don't have nowhere else to go. I came from the West. I've been educated from the West. I'm a product of the West. But I find identity. I find a common place where I say, you know, this is my home. And I'm a guruf, you know what I mean? I have a family, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I cannot rely on my family for businesses. I can't. I have to outsource my labor, my skilled labor, and I have to go to different tribes sometimes because then it's accountability.
True.
Because if I,
it's better, yeah.
Yeah,
True,
so if I hire somebody from another tribe and we have a notary agreement, means
it's accountability.
Yeah, it's accountability because then he messed me up and steals my money, I can arrest him.
True.
I couldn't arrest my own cousin. Remember, my cousin done me dirty when my little brother, God bless his soul, when he was in hospital and he died on me. I was very busy last year, same time. And my own cousin was running my business and he stole a lot of money off me. And then he's my mom's sister, she died as well. So he's an orphan. I couldn't do nothing.
He died?
No, my mom's sister, his mom died. So he grew up as an orphan without a mom, you know? And that's why he lived with me. He worked with me. I gave him my cars. I gave him access to my network.
You gave him your trust?
I gave him my trust. And I relied on him very heavily the month I was away with my little brother.
Facts.
And he done me very dirty. Over $5,000 in 1 month he stole from me.
Damn.
So what could I do to him? There was no accountability. The whole family says, shame on you if you do something against him.
True.
He has no mother.
True. So you switch up to your strategy?
I did immediately. I put Farhan in place. Farhan is from a separate tribe. He's a good kid, hardworking guy. And we have agreements in place. He messed me around, I can arrest him and demand from his family to be reimbursed. It's very important to go away from your family when it comes to businesses.
True. Accountability.
You know, sometimes how I argue with my other cousin, how difficult and challenging it's been. But in the same time, we need each other.
Obviously, yeah.
We need each other. You just have to get through the rubbish with them and put them on track. And sometimes you can never put them on track, so you just have to understand.
I think
to do it yourself.
When you try to do your family, you should do it when your business is grown and solid.
Never leave
Not
a
at the
business
start.
behind with anybody. Number one rule. If you want to succeed in Somaliland, You have to do it yourself. You can't rely on nobody but yourself, because you are the only person who will do your best to get it where it has to be. Nobody else can do it. And it takes time. It takes time. Growing a business from nothing, even if you spend $50,000, $100,000, it still takes time, brother.
Sure.
You know, Elijah said, sabr, patient. Our Creator said, be patient. It's even barakah to start with less money off and let it grow, that business. You know, because my first business, I started off with $3,000, brother. You know what I mean? I sold my car, I bought a hammer mill, and started making animal feed for my house. It was sold for free, and people used to say, this guy's a madman.
Is that the Araf thing?
Yeah, the alaf, the animal feed, you know, made out of grawa, out of prosopis. I really started off out of nothing, and I went 5 steps backwards just to have an income in. I sold my car, the car that my mother bought for me. You know what I mean? And imagine I left the business behind with somebody. Would I survive for 7 years of Lender prosopis? Would I get to a charcoal factory?
What happened to the Araf thing?
Less orders. NGO, AA feeding being totally cut off.
Because there was a lot of rain the last
few years, yeah. So, and other people copied me as well. And the problem that we have is that previous governments and government officials who was getting the AA budgets, animal feed, emergency feeding, they took the money to Ethiopia. They was getting commission from it. And they didn't get my commissions. I couldn't offer the same commissions the Ethiopians offer them. Because it's a very cheap agriculture sector in Ethiopia. And the leftovers from the farms, they make to animal feed. So a Ethiopian a government official, general director, for example, of environmental department and livestock, they make back deals in Ethiopia.
They were more attractive than you in deals.
Pure corruption. Pure corruption, because local problem, locally sourced, local solution should be over-supported before I import. You know, and Thomas Holtz, he was my lifesaver from the German guy, my angel sent by God, and I was getting 5-year subcontracts from him. You know, through him I survived, and I had every year a decent amount of feed orders. You know, and he left unfortunately a year and a half ago. He retired, and I could not replace that man. So we had fully focused on the charcoal, and now, you know, we run other entities and other businesses. My business really evolved, but again, for that businesses that I started, I got an international network done. I'm well known. I'm worldwide known. You know,
it opened doors.
A lot of doors, and you can Google my name out, and I come out. And
really?
Yeah. Guuleed Ahmed.
I never tried that.
Guuleed Ahmed prosopis.
Let me try that. Okay.
And maybe you can slide it in. You know? Yeah. Google me out. Look at your boy.
Oh, صباح يا فنان.
Let me do it for you.
Let me say
prosopis. Yeah, you have to put prosopis behind it. There's at least like 20 or 30 articles about me and the work that I did in Somaliland with that tree.
Bingo.
My man.
See, I'm standing right in the middle of your charcoal.
Yeah, and the trees are behind me. So through that, I got credit. Whoever I meet, I give them my business card and they check on me. They say, oh, this guy is actually legitimate. He's doing amazing things for his nation and he's a believer. And then you build relationships with him based on that. Through that business, I got other businesses and I got way more money stream than I can ever dream of, you know. And I imagine I didn't do that. I didn't start that. I didn't go through the hard 5 years of pain and hard work. You know what I mean? You
didn't run away.
Homie, you know me. You know, seven with the 7 don't run, you know?
I hear you.
We don't run, G. We just multiply.
I hear you. So what does the future look like for 7?
For me? For me, only Allah knows.
Allah knows.
I work hard. I wake up every morning 5. I pray. I hit the gym 4 times a week.
And put the work in.
Put the work in. Repeat. Every day we lay a brick for the foundation. And let's talk about the future of Somaliland. Let's talk about the future opportunities that's coming our direction with this new government. And amazing people doing work behind the scenes. And it's getting closer and closer. But you cannot judge this government yet. We need to wait for that reshuffle. We need to wait for the next year with the budgets being released. Right now, they're collecting ideas and
they're submitting a lot of proposals.
Yes. So
for next year,
the big money should be coming next year into our country, into our economy, and then let's see what we're going to do with it this time. Again, I'm a private sector guy. I don't really rely on the government. I rely on my own strengths and own pockets.
But the government does influence your business in some way.
Yeah, they're regulated. I get the license on them.
Yeah,
I pay taxes to them.
So whatever they do does affect you.
Not really, not my income, because I'm very independent based on that. The government's money independent on development for the country. Creating schools, creating water, creating healthcare, giving subcontracts out, aid money. You know, these things are good for the nation. Me personally, I don't depend on government. I don't get no government contracts.
Yeah, but
I don't get
I
no
mean,
aid
a lot
money.
of businesses, they don't get money from the government, but they're still
nation.
affected
Of
by
course.
government
If the government can
decisions.
build roads, build infrastructure, build schools, it will affect all the people's pockets.
True. Everyone.
Everyone, and then it goes back to where? To the economy, to the circular economy, and you buy more food, you eat more out, you give your wife more money, you buy your kids
They announced
better
something very
clothing.
interesting today, the road between Borome and Djibouti.
Yeah,
It's a game changer.
game changer. But again, 3 to 5 years away to that will be finished. Like the DP World investment for the corridor, So these things are happening now slowly in Somaliland, and the future is bright. Because don't forget, we are a country off the grid.
Oh yeah, you mentioned Ethiopia, deep world. The whole reason the port's been opened was for Ethiopia to make use of it.
Correct.
This hasn't happened yet.
Not yet to the extent that we really wanted.
Because that's the real game changer.
One of the biggest issues was the previous government did not really get the customs regulations in place. We don't have the skilled economic people and advisors, and how can you describe it in the right word? We don't have the right people sitting on the table making these deals with the Ethiopians. That's the biggest problem. You know what I mean? I wouldn't call myself the right person, but you have to hire consultants, international consultants who did this for many, many, many years. And you have to put priority in this, And the gateway to 160 million people is next door. Imagine how much revenue can be created by that.
True.
We don't even have the infrastructure and base of lorries, or garages, or spare parts, or tires.
True.
How difficult it is. Remember the other day we did the research for the tires, and there's a limited market. So how are you going to have 1,000 trucks daily going to Ethiopia? If Ethiopia decides to take just 5% of their gross import through Djibouti to Somaliland.
30%.
30? I'm talking about
That's
5% is 1,000 lorries a day.
True.
We don't even have that 1,000 lorries. We don't even have 200 lorries functioning.
True. That's all.
We don't have the garages, we don't have the manpower, we don't even have the tires to supply these lorries. You know what I mean? So we're many years away from it, and our government the previous government didn't really understand that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a doer. I understand the challenges in between, and I would hire the right people to get this done because I'm not an expert in everything. Especially, I hate paperwork, I'm a visionary, I know what it would take to make this happen. And based
but you put the right people in place to get it done.
Correct. A visionary, a planner, and hire the right people. And this didn't happen for a while, but this government is looking and hiring the right people. For example, cannot talk about it yet, but we will talk about it in a few episodes coming. Good things are happening behind the scenes, by the way.
Inshallah.
Amazing things.
Inshallah. We pray that everything sorts itself out, inshallah.
It will, because 70% is youth in our nation. Our youth themselves are very pretty tired of this useless situation that we're in, this limbo. Recognition to Somaliland is knocking on the door. The question is what we're going to do about it, how professional we're going to be about it.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs actually said that yesterday. He said it's going to happen within this year. It's a very bold statement, if you ask me. He actually said that in a speech.
I have a meeting coming up. We've been invited on Independence Day, 26th of June, inshallah ta'ala, for Somaliland. We will have a private audience with my Nasdaq people from America, great advisors of Trump. I invite them. And the other finance sectors, some people who regulate finance, digital finance. I cannot say too much yet, but things are behind the scenery happening. I talked about it in episode 1 and 2. And it takes time. Everything takes time, you know what I mean? And inshallah ta'ala, the foreign minister is doing his best as well. You know what I mean? Everybody's doing their best. And when you put all the parts together, a bigger picture comes together, That person does that person behind the scenes. And a lot of people don't get the credit for it. Many people not even, right now, a lot of people fighting for this nation behind the scenes, and we don't even know about them, And I'm kind of in a blind light because I'm kind of put it in the universe. You have to put these things in the universe to receive.
True.
If I'm not an introvert, I'm an extrovert. I'm out there,
Yeah, definitely out there.
And I'm a dreamer, and I'm a believer in the things that we do.
Definitely.
So on that note, let's shut it down for tonight. Short and sharp. Is there anything else you'd like to add to it?
You going on a... You want to talk about that?
Trip. Yeah, I'm flying out in a few days' time. By the time...
Getting a little tan?
Oh, the blackness, whatever, they used to call me Guuleed light skin. My mom used to call me in Europe because I was really light skin, but the work that I do, I'm always in the field, I'm always in the sunlight. This year I start using sun cream because of these spots. Maybe you can see they're going away finally. MashaAllah, I'm working on it. But yeah, I'm going to be on a business trip. I'll be away for 12 to 15 days, inshallah ta'ala.
Inshallah.
And let's see what I come back with.
Definitely.
Last time I came back with an S-Class.
And the quad bikes.
Yeah, the quad bikes too. Yeah, and we're going to add... Should we add? No, we're not going to add.
No.
Too much is not good, you know?
We're going to reveal a lot of things in the next episode, inshallah.
We will do. And things are coming. Finally, things are coming together for us in Seventh World. We have amazing feedback. More and more, you've been recognized on the streets now.
Yeah, definitely. Someone recognized.
I love it.
Shout out to my boy, Nasser, I think it was.
Shout out to everybody who recognized us. Shout out to everybody who's listened to it.
Everyone who liked, subscribed, and comment. Love.
Share it. Share the love. Share the word. Stop just looking at it. You know, we have more views than subscribers. What's going on with you people? Support the cause. Support your nation. Support the power that we're trying to create for all of us, not only us, you know. Definitely. And our email address will be there again. Please shout it out. Communicate with us. You want to be invited. You want to tell your story. You're more than welcome. You know what I mean? This is a platform for all of us, for Somalis, Somalilanders, white, Chinese, black. You call it, you name it, just holla. 7/7's Word Podcast. If you can make it here,
you can make it anywhere.